Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. It's great to be with you again. I am going to be starting a whole new series in Romantic Country. This is not the second tale, this is the first tale actually, so I will edit that later. And I thought it would be fun to do the camping page. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reference Chris Cheng's picture, because she's colored this page. She did it about 6 years ago. So I'm going to reference that and then take sort of ideas from there, and then we'll work and see how I can interpret it. So I'm going to be using Prismacolor pencils for this page because I find they work really well on this paper. And also I like the variety of colors in the Prismacolor set, especially some of the softer colors. Alright, so I'm going to first start off with some of the background in the trees, and we'll see how it goes. I'm going to zoom you in a bit better so you can see where we're going with this. Okay. Alright, so first up, I am going to just get a feel for this. So if I bring you here, you can see I've done a bit of a color swatch. So here is sort of the colors for the sky. And then here I'm going to use these colors for the trees, possibly this for the leaves. I am concerned that this is a bit too vibrant, so I'm not sure yet if I need to mute it down. But that's sort of what I'm going for. And I need to reference a photo because I want to show the sky filtering in between the leaves. So otherwise it's just very thick vegetation. And yeah, so in order to help me with that, I'm going to be using as a reference Chris Cheng's page, and that will just help me have a better idea of what I need to do and interpret all of that. But again, this is how I teach myself and how I learn, so I'm just going to teach myself and take you on a journey with me. Okay, so first up I'm going to use Sepia PC948, and this is going to be where I put in my shadow areas. So I'm just going to start placing shadows on the background here, on the trees, and then I'll go and maybe work in here the background, so because we cannot have the trees touching the grass, it's not realistic, so this has to be background. So to do that, I'm going to kind of mix PC1086 and Pale Sage PC1089. Just give you an idea of what I'm going for. Hi Kenny, how are you? Okay, so let's use PC1089, and we're just going to just lightly bring this in. Now I don't think that this part of the sky actually needs a lot of color, so we don't want to always make our backgrounds the same depth of color as our foreground. Oh, sorry, family's being put to bed. So if you hear any background noise or anything in the background, just please pardon us. I am well, thank you for asking. I'm having a relaxed start to the month again, so that's always helpful. Hopefully it stays that way, but you know, life happens, so we'll see how it goes. I really like coloring Eriy's books. I feel the more I color it, the more confident I am with her style of work. And okay, so now I'm going to bring in my, I think it's powder blue. It's PC1086, I think. Let me get my chart book out and just make sure I give you the right number, because it's actually worn out and almost completely shaved off, so I can't see what I'm doing. Okay, it's Sky Blue Light, PC1086. Okay, so I'm going to start from the bottom here, and I'm going to work my way up. I did try watching the time lapse for this picture on Chris Cheng's YouTube, but she doesn't include the numbers and the names of the pencils, so maybe that's a good thing, because then I can just interpret it my style and just use her page as a reference. Because I really find with pages like this, I don't really know how to separate the sky from the leaves. And it's the same as, like, I don't really know yet how to paint leaves. So the only way I know how to teach myself is to either use a reference photo or watch someone else do it. Hi Yana, how are you? It's a pity she doesn't include the color names in her time-lapse videos, but I can understand, because she's going really fast and she's probably zoomed it up, sped it up by about 10 times. So chopping and changing between pencils is probably really quick. Not the time-lapse ones, no. I don't actually follow a lot of color along videos. If I watch something, it's normally just to get the idea. I am trying to get a little bit better at following along with color alongs. I just find they take up a lot of my time, and I have to sit with the laptop and concentrate, and sometimes what I really want is just to be creative and switch off. So I am currently following a color along by DK Design Coloring here on YouTube. I'm doing this page here. So obviously this page, right, so let me bring it down so you can see. So this is the color along I am following by DK Design Coloring on YouTube, and I chose to follow this tutorial because I really like the effect, but I don't know how to do it on my own, and finding pictures or videos like this is really hard. So the only way I know to teach myself how to interpret that sort of a background and where the light source is hitting and all of that is to actually follow an artist. So this is another color along I'm actually following. So I take no credit for this. But it's because I just don't know how to do it on my own. So I wish I could. Maybe one day. So for now, I either use that process or I mainly try and use reference photos to help, and then I see how I go, and sometimes I change things up as I go. Oh, thank you, Kenny. I really can't take credit for that picture because it is someone else's amazing artwork. All right, so here I'm going to come along here and work on some of these trees. And I'm going to use PC948 Sepia. I'm also trying to learn how to use a blending pencil more because I tend to blend with my pencils, and I find sometimes it feels like I'm just using up my pencils too much, and I could get a similar effect if I just use a blending pencil. So I am trying to kind of lean into that a bit more. But you really do learn a lot from other people. Oh, thank you, Kenny. That's very kind. Yeah, I think I'm just a little bit cautious of taking credit, and you know, I want to make sure I give credit where credit is due. I find when I follow other people's color alongs, I actually need to allow my brain to switch off so I can actually just really copy. But DK Design Coloring, she does such really great, rich coloring pages. It's really phenomenal to actually watch. She doesn't do a lot of color alongs though. It's a pity because I would love to see more of her pictures and learn from her. Oh, I love Eriy's books. You should get them if you can, and if you like her style. I've actually got in my Etsy wish list her other books. I think she's got like a World Heritage book and a fairy tale book. So I'm also looking at that. I think I've put in about 5 or so books on Etsy that I'd like to get. And I'm just very gently ignoring it because it's gonna cost a small fortune. Oh yes, I remember Peter Hewitt. I used to use her channel for Inktense tutorials. That was really cool. I should probably go have a look at her coloring again. Between Chris Cheng and DK Design, there's quite a few color alongs that are really like amazing color alongs. Yeah, she does make amazing photo pictures. Also really, really beautifully done. Has anyone got the English Kanoka Igusa books? I've got the English copy, but I found, interestingly enough, that Black Widow pencils on the English version works really well in that paper, whereas like polychromos don't work that well, and I do struggle with the ink, not the Inktense, the Prismacolor pencils. So I was just wondering if anyone has had that sort of experience as well. Yeah, Kanoka's images are absolutely stunning. I love her drawings. I did the firework page in Minuet Debonair, so that was really fun. I actually did it the whole weekend, and yeah, the Black Widow pencils really made it quite easy work. Oh, okay, so you use luminance or light fast in her books. Some more to add to the collection and the wish list. I've even added Tombow water brush pens to my wish list. I like the idea of using them as a base and not having bleed through on the paper. Oh wow, Kenny, so you have both. That's cool. I have seen Paul Brun's books. They are really, really beautiful. I don't have any yet in my collection. I think I have put them in my wish list. But yeah, I have been very impressed with what I've seen. How do you find the paper in Paul Brun's books? Oh, that's really great to hear. I'm glad the paper is lovely. I find I've become quite particular about paper. The more I color in, the more particular I seem to get. Hi Brittany, I'm using Prismacolor Premier pencils. Oh wow, that's brilliant that you got the third tale of Romantic Country via eBay. Well done. That's a really great price. I only have the first and second tale. I think I did put in my Etsy account the third tale because it's come available again. But on our eBay, I'm not getting much luck with secondhand books. But that's fine. I mean, it comes and goes. Yeah, I've heard a lot of things can be found on Amazon Japan. Um, the problem with both Amazon Japan and Amazon US is the shipping. It's really, sometimes the shipping is really expensive, so it's always a factor I have to take into consideration. Hi Pickle, how are you? All right, so let's come along down here, just finish this tree, and then I will build up these trees for you. Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Had a relaxed weekend with quite a bit of coloring, so that was very good for the soul. Okay, so now I'm going to bring in some brown ochre, PC948. So this page actually reminds me quite a bit of my boys. They do quite a lot of camping in the summer with scouts. So this just takes me back and reminds me of them. It's always nice to do coloring pages that give you a bit of an emotional attachment. Okay, I want to go back to my sepia. I want to bring this in just a bit more. And then go back to my burnt ochre PC948. Oh yes, exactly. They are much more memorable when we have sentiment attached to them. When they go on their camps though, they have to cook for themselves, wash up, so all those really great life skills that are so good for them. But they always come back really happy and smiling, so I know they have a good time. And I think also I'm very blessed that they actually really get on quite well with each other. It's just here I'm missing a third boy. I need a third one because I have 3 boys. And the third boy would be probably smaller and almost sitting right on top of this boy. He is such a cuddler. Do many of you add things into the background of your coloring pages? Do you color it just the way it is? I've seen some people will add extra foliage or leaves into their background. So I really like the burnt ochre when I want to make like a reddish tinge into my wood, and then trying to follow the markings already drawn onto the page. I find it helps to just add a bit of texture to the trees. So we had an interesting week because I ended up on the one day having 5 teenage boys in my house, and they were watching The Hobbit and doing their marathon, so that was quite fun. And I had my younger 2 boys with me, and I let them have their own little bit of a movie marathon kind of go. And then on Sunday, I ended up with another 2 teenage boys plus my eldest, watching movies together and hanging out. So it was quite a fun experience, actually, to be able to create a space for the kids to just interact and play and have fun, but also to grow. It's very different to when they're little. A really fun and interesting experience. My eldest turns 13 in December, so getting really excited about that and what that's going to look like. Oopsie daisy, it gave up. Oh yes, I've seen some of Barbara Color's work. She is really amazing. I love that she does her channel or her live streams in French and English. Really, really talented. Okay, Yana, you add stencils from time to time. Brittany, when you say YouTube has gotten rid of the About section, is that the channel recommendations or the information regarding the channel itself? Okay, so now I'm going to use Chocolate PC1082, and I'm going to kind of blend between my dark and my reddish brown, my burnt ochre. I think chocolate is one of my favorite colored pencils. It's just such a rich brown. There's a lot that can be said for it, actually. So these same colors I'm going to bring down onto these logs here. So I don't go into all of my burnt ochre. I like to kind of build up inside of it. I think what I really like with Eriy's books is the black lines are quite faded. So as you color them, your coloring ends up creating the lines. So I do actually really enjoy that. But yet I like having the lines because at least it kind of guides me. I've seen some of her other work. The lines are a lot more faded than these ones, and I'm not sure if how I would take to that style. I do like the security of the black line. Brittany, no, I don't own any of Eriy's other books except Romantic Country, the first tale and the second tale. I would love to own some of her other books. you know, in time, everything in time. I mean, with Etsy, I've got, like I said earlier, about 5 different coloring books, including a few of Eriy's other books. But because of the shipping, it does push the price up quite a bit. So I'll just keep saving and working on it. And yeah, one day I'll get there. I don't mind being patient. In the meantime, I can enjoy these books and work out how to color in them and what works best. And yes, Eriy's books are Japanese, so I am aware of that. I quite like the Naoko Neko cat book. That's also quite a nice book. I like seeing people's colored pictures in there. Okay, let's bring this out a bit more. So this is the burnt ochre again. Okay, so now I want PC1058 90% warm grey, and this is just again going into the shadows and deepening them up. Just really just deepening and adding depth here. I want to try and create like this is a bit of a knot here. It just felt like there was a knot of wood up there. Hi Leslie, how are you? Oh, well done to going to Walmart for a camping trip and shopping spree. I hope it was productive and you got all the goodies that you needed. Do you do much camping in the winter times? Right, so we're slowly getting there. One step at a time. I've never camped in a tent. I've done we used to camp in a folded caravan, so that was fun, and yeah, that was about it really. I didn't do much of that sort of thing growing up. We weren't really a going away on holiday kind of family growing up, so I only really got into doing much traveling and exploring in my adult years. Oh wow, Leslie, that's really cool. Camping between October and May, that's really cool. All right, so, oh, thank you so much, Kenny. Oh, that's lovely, Yana, that you grew up camping and fishing with your dad. That's really cool. Yes, this page has got a lot of trees because they are camping in a forest. But we're gonna break up the foliage to show that there is some there's some sky, because even if you go into a forest, if you look up the treetops, you can still see glimpses of the sky. So I'm going to do my best to use Chris Cheng's version of this page as a reference photo and kind of create that mottled kind of look. Now I just want to go over my 90% warm grey and just blend it out a little bit. I mean, it doesn't have to be exact. I just want to just keep working on that blend. Campers are lovely. You can just go anywhere with them, park them, have a drink. Hubby and I would still like to, once the kids have left home and are established in their own lives, get ourselves a camper or small RV kind of thing, and then go traveling through Europe. I mean, that's the dream. Hopefully life will cooperate with us and let us. But if nothing else, it's good to have dreams. There's just so much to see, so many places to go. Alright, so then back to my chocolate, PC1082. Right, so now we're going to use 10% French grey. And you can see it actually works as a blending pencil. So not everything needs to be blended with a white pencil. You can use lighter shades and you can still get that blend without it turning like milky white. Hi Carly, how are you? But I am going to use a blending pencil anyway, because I would like to just use this pencil as a bit of a highlighter. Well, I'm glad you're well, Carly. Just need my brush. I can't believe it is about, I think it's about 6 weeks and then it's Christmas. It's just crazy, crazy, crazy. And our town is going to be having their late night shopping on the 1st of December, complete with nativity, a walk-in nativity and food stalls and all sorts of shopping. So it's going to be really lovely to see the town start getting set up with Christmas lights and all of that sort of stuff. My 9-year-old is very, very funny. He breathed a sigh of relief when he found out that Halloween was now over. He came to me on the 1st of November. Mommy, is Halloween done? So I said to him, yes, Halloween is done. It was finished yesterday on the 31st. And he goes, oh, good. Now we can get on with the Christmas stuff. So he's been doing all sorts of crafting things for Christmas already. And it's only November. I mean, he had to do a no-sew fabric star. And he's done painting with watercolors and painting snowflakes and Christmas trees. We had to make a Christmas tree gnome. So this kid and Christmas is hilarious. I did have a giggle though, because I told my husband I want to take the kids up to London to go and see the Christmas lights. And I was thinking of going with friends. So this is my blender, PC1077. I have seen some places it's PC1066. So if we don't have the same numbered blender, just use whatever works for you as far as a blending pencil goes. So anyway, yeah, my husband was like, he doesn't want to take off work to go and look at Christmas lights unless I can't come right with friends, getting friends to come with me. He's not a Christmas fan. Alright, so just going to blend this out now. Oh, that's cool, Carly. DIY Christmas crafts and TikToks. Well, to be honest, Leslie, we didn't actually encourage the kids to go to Scouts last week because of it being Halloween. And my husband is quite neutral when it comes to these sort of things. He doesn't like Christmas and Halloween or Valentine's Day or any of these sort of things because of the commercialism. But when I checked and found out that the Scouts were going to be doing all sorts of Christmas things, he was very relaxed and supportive to not send the kids to it, because I just really don't like it, and I don't feel it's necessary for them. And I've told the kids, like, what they do with their own children when they're parents, that's up to them, but I just don't want it for, I don't really want to encourage it. So we don't encourage it. Unfortunately, it's not something the boys really are bothered by. They don't really miss doing that whole thing. It's, well, I've kind of, suppose you could say I've taught them to not really care for Halloween much. But yeah, it's just a personal thing. Although I like Pancake Day, we do Pancake Day. So whenever Pancake Day comes around, then I'll go and make pancakes. I'll get them to help me with pancakes, and we'll have pancakes for lunch and supper and breakfast and all sorts. Pancake Day, I think it's a British thing. They call it Shrove Tuesday, if I've got my information correctly. Yeah, Shrove Tuesday. It's normally February 13th. And it's a beloved and delicious tradition observed in many countries around the world. But the date does vary. It's not always February the 13th. So I think what happens is, as Christians were, well, I suppose like your Roman Catholic, your Eastern Orthodox type Christian, as they start getting towards Lent, you end up eating up all of the food in your cupboard, and you're preparing for that time of fasting before Easter. or the more restricted food intake for Easter. So I think what happened was Shrove Tuesday or Pancake Day was kind of like, this is what was left. We need to eat our eggs and our butter and our milk before Lent. So hence the tradition of Pancake Day came into play. Obviously nowadays it's a lot more flamboyant than eating what's left in your pantry cupboard, because we go and we add, you know, chocolate sauce and berries and all sort of things, and we specifically go out and buy more products to put on our pancakes. Typically though, in our home, I try not to go too berserk on the sugar, and I try and keep it kind of balanced between savory and sweet. Oh yes, yeah, no, absolutely. Consumers have contributed the most to commercializing of Christmas. Oh, okay. Fat Tuesday during Mardi Gras. That's cool. I haven't heard of that. That's really cool. Absolutely, Brittany. Christmas is, for a Christian, supposed to be a celebration of Jesus' birth. Although, if you research it, technically Jesus was born around September. And there is a whole like history and accounts and all of that with the history of Christmas and how it came to being. And sometimes it was that it was allowed, and other times in history it wasn't allowed because there was a lot of drinking and eating. So it was a lot of back and forth and back and forth. So yeah, if you go into the whole history of Christmas, it's not just a celebration of Jesus' birth. When it comes to the boys, I just try and encourage them that actually we make a fuss over Christmas because we want to celebrate one, Jesus. We want to celebrate the people in our lives, and it's really about family, community, kindness, giving. And then in our home it's for a lot of fun because I've already had all three of them say they want Elf on the Shelf back, and they want him to be naughty, so now I have to be mischievous. So for us it's also like a whole lot of fun, but they absolutely know that Mum is behind all the pranks that the elf gets up to. Oh, absolutely. The push to buy things is, yeah. Oh, yes, that dang elf. And sometimes he has a partner in crime, aka the fart ninja, because, you know, boys find that really, really funny, and so does Mum. So, yeah, it can get a little bit, we can get a little bit cheeky and funny during Elf on the Shelf. I've had him abseil down stuff. I've hidden him in the fridge. I've had him get hold of baking things or into their cereal, write on the mirror with lipstick. All right, let's have a look and see how much of this foliage can I create. So all right, I'm going to come in with a little bit of, I think it's marine green, PC948 and I'm going to use some Kelly green, PC1096. So I think I'm going to start with Kelly green, and I'm going to just Bring this up here. Oh, Leslie, I think you missed a lot of fun, or maybe you saved yourself a lot of abrupt waking up at in the middle of the night, or going to bed and getting yourself all cozy and then suddenly waking up to, oh my gosh, I have to do Elf. Oh, well done, Pickle. Your Alfie brings crafts and activities. And he sometimes gets cheeky and makes a mess. I use an elf my mum knitted for me. So he's a little bit more cumbersome than the elves that we can buy in the store. But we make a plan. I had the one day, I think it was last year, I used those tinsel stars that you can put on your present after you finish wrapping it. And I used sticky tape, and I was taping him up on the one side of the wall so it looks like he's rock climbing. So that was that was fun. No, I didn't do Santa either. But I gave my kids very strict instructions that they were not allowed to say anything to any other child, because some families do encourage Santa, and even like writing letters to Santa and all of that. And I didn't want to be responsible for ruining their Christmas joy. So my kids were always given very strict instructions to keep it to themselves. Yeah, your oldest niece wrote a note to Alfie once saying, next time don't make a mess or you'll give Nanny a heart attack. Oh, sweetheart, she was 5. Oh, bless her. I think the one year I did, I put on the Xbox, because hubby and the boys play Xbox, and I stuck one of the car games on and had the elf with the remote control, the game on, and then a beer next to him. So it looked like he had hijacked hubby's gaming time. Of course, the beer was empty. It was just an empty can. Oh, that's cool. You do Santa in your family, but he brings one gift and the rest are from mom, dad, and family. That's cool. Snow angels with flower. That's so cool. I think I did try that. Once wrapped the Christmas in toilet roll. I love Elf because you can just be so mischievous and get away with it. Okay, so now I'm going to use my marine green PC948. And I'm just going to come in around here. I normally take photos of whatever Elf gets up to, and then I put it up on my Facebook wall, because my aunt, she lives in Texas, and I think she really enjoys it. She often messages me some ideas. Yeah, Facebook is like my photo album. It's where I store a lot of stuff. But I find as I get older, I'm doing that less and less. I think I might actually pause here and then get the blue, see where I can put some of these blue shades. So let's see, we need, this is that sky blue light, PC1086. So we need some here. Maybe if I put the blue in, will help me. To like splotch it a bit. And then up here, and then every now and then I get terribly confused. Alright, and this one is going to be a little bit less. Like up there. I'm studying this very hard. Sorry, I'm on my reference photo. And then down here. I find I have to concentrate really hard when I'm copying a reference photo, because I need to try and make sure I kind of get the right idea. And maybe a little bit up here. Okay, here. I'm using like a medium pressure because I really want to make this blue stand out. And she's gone and added like more twiggy parts of the branches in, so I gotta kind of like look between all of that. I think I'll add those extra twiggy branches closer to the end. Hang on. Up here. Okay, down this corner somewhere here. Maybe a bit over here. All right. Yeah. Okay, so then I'm going to take a lime peel. The first known decorated Christmas tree was from my homeland in Riga, Latvia. Oh, that's interesting, Jana. So this is lime peel PC1005. I'm just going to place it around the blue, and I'm trying to use a lightish pressure. So I can always darken it up. Wow, Jana, that's amazing. Your parents were married in the church where Martin Luther posted his thesis after they met in a refugee camp in Germany. That is so fascinating. Wow. Okay, so now I'm going to my Kelly green. I don't know if trees are supposed to be, you know, easily blended. I think it needs to have like squiggly lines to give it a bit of texture and shape. That's where sometimes I kind of blend out my lines too much, and I still need to learn to be okay with texture. Oh, thank you so much, Pickle. I need a different green. I need some moss green. So I'm bringing in moss green PC1097. You have all the textures and you need to smooth things out. So I need to take a page from you, and you can take a page from me, and we'll be great. We'll be sorted. And then a bit of dark green PC908. I'm just trying to work out where all of this needs to go. Okay, I'm going to come in with some pale sage, PC1098. The question is, how much do you build it up? Leslie, you try too hard to make things realistic. So might have too much texture or not enough. One of these days you need to just color straight color. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. my problem is I haven't worked out when to do what. So it's all a bit muddled. Okay, I want a bit more Limepeel, PC1005. I mean, I got the idea, I think. Maybe, hopefully. I don't want to blend it out too much and then, because I suppose the other thing is you color in and then you need to take a step away from it so you can actually see how it looks. And sometimes when you look at something further away, it looks totally different than when you're up close. Are you going to color any of the pages as the sky? Could you elaborate for me, Brittany, on what you mean by the sky? Absolutely pickled. Straight coloring is freeing sometimes. I find I sometimes actually need to force myself to just straight color and not worry about all the other bits and bobs, and just kind of like enjoy the process. So the dark green is being used to brighten up some of the leaves. So yeah, that's why Chris Cheng uses the dark green. I was going to use a grass green. I was going to use PC909, but I think that was too bright. Let's use some more marine green. I think it's a good start, to be honest, considering I'm not really used to coloring like this with trees and all that. I'm just kind of wiggling a pencil around. I don't think it's too bad. Okay, so some of the spots between the tree leaves and under the trees near the roots are sky to me. So yes, I have got, so currently my live stream is lagging behind what you are seeing when you're seeing it. So you'll see I did go in and with a blue pencil and I've put in bits of sky. And then, So I have got that, and then this portion here is actually sky, and I'm going to get there to building it up. For the moment, this here is sky. I think you'll see it more as I color it in. Hi Michelle, how are you? Yeah, you see, that's the thing. So when I just looked at it, I can't interpret pages like this. So I needed a reference photo, and I very much remembered Chris Cheng had done this video and had done a page, or this page. So I went on to YouTube, found Chris Cheng's old YouTube channel, because she currently has 2 YouTube channels, and I double checked myself, and I found her time-lapse video on this exact page. So instead of coloring with a time-lapse video, what I'm doing is I'm using that as a reference to help me create that breaking up of the leaves and seeing where the sky is. So this portion here to here is actually sky, and then here up is tree leaves with gaps of blue in, and you'll see I put in some of that blue. Oh, thanks Michelle, it's great to have you pop in, and thank you for saying that it looks great. Exactly. I so hear you, Pickle. I think what Chris Cheng has done is she's created her current YouTube channel, and then her new YouTube channel is membership only. So I think she's splitting the two to, away from each other. Yeah, references are really very helpful. I think they are kind of like undersung. We don't really hear too much about when we use reference photos, and sometimes I wonder if we, well, sometimes I wonder if we were more like let people know we use reference photos, that it would encourage people that actually we don't wake up one day and just know how to color in. We actually use things to help us, and we work it out. At least in my head, that's how I think. Right, hang on here. I've got the, okay, so that's, okay, I don't know what I've done here. So we'll just create a bit more sky here. Oh, well done, Pickle. You wing it. Absolutely. If you just want to put color to paper and don't use a reference photo at all, absolutely, it is 100% okay, because we all have to just color what works, and not all of us color the same way. I just personally like hearing from, I like it when the people I admire, if they use coloring reference photos. I find it encouraging. It helps me relax and tell myself it's okay. Oh wow, that's really great to know that Teresa Goodbridge books work great with oil pastels. Michelle, I'm like that a lot as well. I really do find my pictures turn out better when I have things more planned. But absolutely, if we all did things the same, it would be boring. And I love that the coloring community is so diverse and so many people color in so uniquely. I think that's the beauty of it, and that's the beauty of art. Nobody has to color it the same way, and we can express ourselves. At the end of the day, you have to color for you, because you're the one who's coloring it and enjoying the process. The rest of us just get to go, ooh, ah, that's beautiful, because we genuinely love seeing what other people color, and it's like looking into your world and being amazed at the gift that's there. Oh, that's great, Pickle. You've seen the progress over the years, but you didn't start coloring to become a fine artist. Exactly, Brittany. It would also be boring if we all learn the same. And definitely, society does think differently, and we're meant to be different and think differently. And you just look within a single family, you'll have different personalities and thought patterns even there. Exactly. We don't learn the same. We don't think the same. The world needs us to be different. And honestly, I think the world needs us to have more creativity, because that's where innovation and out of the box thinking and all sorts of stuff comes out. And I suppose society online has gone the way it has, Brittany, because it's more visual, and yeah, it's just a different form of learning. Some people really do well with more visual, whereas other people cope more with written. So it is very, very different for different people. I just need some pale sage here to just blend this all out. Well, not blend it out too much. I still do need it to have some texture. Okay, so here we need dark green. And then moss green in here. I'm sure there are places where you can get written instruction, Brittany. I just personally don't have the capacity to sit down and break down my coloring process into written format. So I would not, that's not something that I would offer people. I just do not have the capacity to do that. I find videos are quicker for me to share, and then those people who find it helpful to watch can watch, and all of that. So different strokes for different folks, I guess. Exactly. People do what's best for them. Okay, so back to my lime peel. Okay, hang on. right down here, there's quite a lot of blue coming down here. The thing is, multi-sensory cannot be provided on a YouTube channel, for example, because it is not a multi-sensory platform. And multi-sensory is more than visual, it's more than audio, it's more than written. It needs to be tangible as well, because multi-sensory means you need to encompass as many of the senses as you possibly can. And YouTube by nature is not multi-sensory, it is a visual learning platform. Blogs are written platforms, and these days you can embed videos into blogs. So you know, Pickle makes a very good point, because it is up to each of us to find what works for us, and how to go about learning in the way that works for us. And it's about finding those things. And yes, sometimes it's harder to find than others, and that is not always fun at all. But maybe it's more a case of seeing if there's anyone nearby who is an artist or does provide art lessons, and you can learn kind of that way, where they can give you that multi-sensory approach. Well done, Michelle. You bought 3 Rita Berman coloring books after the last color along. Eriy is amazing. It took me a while to get into the books, but now that I'm getting there, I've really enjoyed it a lot. Brittany, I'm really sorry that you're not finding what you really need, and I can only understand and imagine how frustrating that is for you. It is really a lot of to write down the coloring process step by step is a lot of effort, and it may just be that people don't have the time capacity for it. Excuse me. So I sympathize. I really do. Alright, so just use my pale sage. There's also Helen Elliston's Coloring Special Effects. That's really, really good. She's got about 4 books. Susan makes a really great point. There are books like Jennifer Zimmerman. I don't recall seeing those books, but there are definitely books that teach coloring techniques. So that you could easily look up Jennifer Zimmerman and Helen Elliston. Squiggly lines just to try and keep a bit of texture. I am using Prismacolor pencils. Yeah, Helen Elliston has really great books. I've used her books a few times. She gives very clear and easy to follow tutorials as well within her books on how to do skin, bugs, leaves, flowers, all sorts, food, and they're quite easy to follow. And she even tells you how much pressure to use and all of that. So yeah, I highly recommend her work. This here is largely tree. Tree, tree, tree. So this is Kelly Green PC1096. Back to Limepeel. I can't recommend Eriy's books enough. It's just so, they're just so much fun. The paper takes a little bit of getting used to. I find I have to not worry too much about copious amounts of layers and just work at getting everything laid down. The marine green here. A bit of dark green. Marine green. Moss green. And then pale sage. It's sort of like circular motions. So I just use my blue to help me blend this out, and then I do the pale sage to blend everything in like circular motions. And then I go over my blue spots. Hi Katrina, how are you? Well, bye Michelle, have a good time at work. Hope you have a good day. Yeah, I found out that this paper and Inktense pencils don't work. I didn't like it. I tried. Bye, Carly. Thanks for joining. It's lovely to chat to you. All right, everyone. It's almost 10:30, and yeah, I think I'm going to finish the trees and the leaves off camera, but it's pretty much the same process. I think it's off to a good start, and then here you've got pale sage coming, but what we'll do is we'll just use a white gel pen, which is somewhere. Honestly, here it is. So you'd use a white gel pen and just black out these lines. Oh, thank you, Kenny. Alright, so just black out the lines with a white gel pen, and that will just create this a little bit more seamlessly. Because we're not going to really color much up here. We're going to build up the sky from the bottom up, but then it's going to fade. Otherwise it's going to look really weird to have dark blues near your greens. Alright everyone, see you next week, same time, same place, 8 p.m. London time on a Monday. And I will see you soon. Have a good week everyone. Bye for now.